Algeria, when it got its independence, it didn't say, congratulations Algerian people, have an Algerian state. They said, Ya Muhammad, mabruk alayk, and Jazair raj'at li. Ya Muhammad, congratulations, O Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Congratulations, Algeria has returned to you.
So just to summarize the question, the brother was asking about the problematic system of nation states and the fact that each nation only looks out for themselves because that's the nature of what a nation state is as opposed to a more ummatic model. How do you see the situation in relation to that?
I think that in abstract, the idea of no nation states is a wonderful concept of a united ummah. In the course of history, however, it undermines and underplays the noble sacrifices of those who fought the colonial powers. I'll explain what I mean. Algeria, the state, didn't emerge because the Algerians identified a state called Algeria. It emerged because that was the territory France controlled, and they turfed the French, and they went into opening up a new front with the Italians in Libya. The Italians, when they took Libya from the Ottoman Empire, they carved out a set of territory that was called Tropitana, and then later on became Libya. When the Moroccans, for example, they had a kingdom, they had some borders they could identify with, but they fought where the French and the Spanish were and didn't go beyond that. By that, what I mean is that I don't think that they ever envisaged an ummah of nation states, but saw the nation states as a transition towards restoring something that resembles an ummah, and then self-interest got involved that has hampered that path. Imagine that your whole life, your father is persecuted, your grandfather's tortured, your mother is killed, your sisters are... You go to the mountains and you fight, you're in the trenches. It's a brutal war for liberation. Many people die. In Algeria, 1.5 million die, and finally the French are leaving a certain set of territory, and you say, Alhamdulillah, they're gone. Your immediate intention is not, let me go start another war. Your immediate intention is, let's preserve and entrench what we've gained. Let's recover. Let's try to build something here that can be a haven and an outpost before we consider how we can expand to the next stage, which is the Ummah and the alayk. And that's where I think sometimes there was a disconnect in the debate. In that when the path diverged, because when Algeria found independence and Tunisia and Libya, in 1974, for 24 hours, Tunisia and Libya joined as one nation because they argued we should be one Ummah. Egypt, Syria, and Iraq, I think it was for a year or 6 months, my history is messed up. They became one state because they argued that the end game was never a nation state. The end game was Ummah. And they tried it, and of course, as a result of political events that happened from Europe, from US, and even domestically and the like, it ended up breaking apart. But the reason I use these examples is to show you that the intention of even those who established the nation states, they saw it as a stopgap through which to then expand and join with other nations to try to reconnect this ummah with each other. And I think that the reason that they haven't been able to, even though in the grand scheme of history, it's only really been 80 years. I know sometimes we're arrogant to think that believe history is only important when we live in it. But history is a long tapestry and we're only a minuscule detail in that. But the point here being is that I think that the focus on the nation states as if it's an aberration neglects why the nation states emerged in the first place. And I've met mujahideen, and I've sat with them, and I've never met a mujahid who dreamed of a nation state. Every mujahid I met always talked about it as a vehicle through which to go to something noble, which is the ummah, and all of them expressed deep disappointment that policies and the politics that came afterwards was something so averse to something that is ummatic. When you go to Algeria, when you look at the countries of independence now, so many are trying to leave. Algeria now has a law where if they sense you're Algerian and you don't have nationality, they try to impose it on you. They don't give you visa for the British passport because they're aware that Algerians are leaving because they no longer have faith in what the country has become, even though it has the blood of 1.5 million martyrs, which shows that they're upset about something, which is they're upset about how the nation state has emerged. And this is where I think there's a disconnect in the debate and where both sides haven't appreciated each other in the debate. One sees the other as an evil scourge that emerged and undermines the nobility of the people who achieve that consequence and outcome. And the other side see the other as idealistic people who don't understand the practicalities because they were never in the mountains and trenches fighting an overwhelming force that is superior in every single way in technology, and they don't appreciate the value of what liberation was. And the final point I will say is this. Algeria, when it got its independence, it didn't say, congratulations Algerian people, have an Algerian state. They said, Ya Muhammad, mabruk alayk, and Jazair raj'at li. Ya Muhammad, congratulations, O Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Congratulations, Algeria has returned to you. Algeria has returned to the Ummah. This land, this primary identity is not Algeria, it belongs to the Ummah. And I think in the 70s and 80s, when the tensions between Morocco, Algeria, competition between Abdel Nasser and Bourguiba and and Huwari, Boumediene and the like, when it all catalyzed and Russia began supporting one side, the Saudis invited the Americans to push back against the British and the others, and everybody started playing the superpowers of one another. I think practicalities meant that it became a very difficult thing. But having said that, if you look at the past 80 years, official colonization, then independence movements, or be economic dependency, then Arab Spring, people lashing out, toppling authoritarian regimes. Now you have the Palestinians lashing out 70 years after the land had been taken. They finally managed to take land back from the Israelis. I think that in the tapestry of history, certainly we're in an upward trajectory, even if we don't like the journey or the course that has been taken during this journey. And Allahu A'lam, and He knows.